You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, team.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Catalina After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Catalina After Show.
Woo! Hey! And we're back.
Yes.
Tuesday night. We're here with AFTERBUZZ watching The Catalina. First off, Bing is for doing, and today we're doing another AFTERBUZZ TV episode of The Catalina Edition, Season 1, Episode 2, Bikinis and Breakups.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, there we are. I was like, are we on?
We are. I am Jessica King. Tweet at us. Tweet at me at I am Jessica King.
Hey, everyone. I'm Jason J. Carter. You can find me on Twitter at JJCForever. Tweet me, tweet me, tweet me.
Hey, I'm Carmela Mondello. You can tweet me at Carmela Mondello, CarmelaMondello.
And I'm Kaori Takee. Please go ahead and tweet me at KAORIOUS.
And before we get started, I want to send a shout out to Munchkin. He's a fan of ours. Yes, Munchkin, thank you so much for watching. And also to Michael, some new viewers that are really excited about the AFTERBUZZ Catalina After Show tonight.
Love it, love it. Well, let's get this party started.
Yes.
So, we're still kind of a little iffy on our mixed feelings with this show, correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so
it's like I want to see them just go full throttle party mode.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of boring
Yeah.
right now.
The thing is, you know, when you could multitask hardcore during a show, like I think you went to the bathroom at one point. We were on our cell phones, and we didn't miss anything.
I want this to have me glued to the television. I don't want to leave.
I need to be rewinding the DVR.
Yeah, like we need to have it.
Where's that shock value?
Right. Well, see, when you watch the promos for this show, you're thinking, oh, great, the OC in Miami, the
crazy,
hills on
like
the CW.
Jersey Shore.
Just, you know, leaving you with cliffhanger after cliffhanger after every scene before commercial. Like, no way. Oh, my gosh, what's going to happen next? Someone's going to pull their weave out.
Like people making fools out of themselves.
Didn't happen.
And I'm a big fan of the jaw drop. When I watch TV, I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm sad that hasn't happened yet. So I'm waiting for that moment. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Right.
You know what else is missing from the show? I think I'm a big fan of music, and I think music colors any situation, any scene. There is no good. I mean, that could really save the Catalinas if they had some, I don't know, some dramatic music or something to set the tone of the nonsense we're watching. Because you know,
we were even trying to figure out what their opening theme song was.
Yeah, that's true.
We're like, is it
I definitely had one.
Nicki Minaj? It was what were we listening to?
It was a no name.
It was canned music, just generic.
Something they found on YouTube. So let's jump right in. First off, tonight, Nathan, who, by the way, I read that he's only 33 years old and he owns like a ton of hotels.
It must have been, you know, inheritance.
I think he co-owns them with his dad or something like that. But that's a pretty sweet gig for a 33-year-old.
Yeah, he's a horrible owner and a horrible boss. He goes all undercover boss on us today.
Yeah, so he decides to launch the Armando Project. He decides that his staff isn't up to par. And we see him randomly just... A girl walks through the door and he's like, do you work here? You're fired. And I thought that was super unprofessional. I mean, usually it's like a sit down or some kind of private setting. And
he's asking, do you work here?
Yeah.
Well, I think they had hired people for that night. Did we miss that where he said
I had no idea.
I don't know.
They hired people, a bar staff for a party,
Okay.
and they got wild, and that's why he wasn't too sure what was going on, but he was just unhappy with the way the situation went. But in Nathan's defense, though, I give him props for stepping into the shoes to see, because any boss, most bosses of that nature in that kind of scene would be like, I'm not gonna shovel horse crap. I'm not gonna clean a toilet. What do you? So he wanted to walk a mile in the shoes of some of his employees, so to speak. So I mean that sells for something, you know.
No, I would think that he would take it a little more seriously. Like when we saw him at the pool party or as the pool service, he was drinking.
When he was delivering the food,
he was eating people's food
and giving it to people on the street.
I think it felt to me like he kind of took it as a joke. Even when he did the job of the receptionist girls, Vicky and Karina, he was kind of just like making a fool of them. Yeah, it didn't really seem serious to me. He's like, how can I make your experience more pleasurable? Like,
I just don't think he's a serious person in general.
Yeah.
I mean, the alias Armando, and then he was joking about like the hotel room being dirty, and you know.
Well, and to add to that though, I feel that he's young. So, and that's the lifestyle that he leads. I mean, that's the environment he's always in.
I
so
kind of like him.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
I'm feeling him tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of him as Armando, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have minded.
Like Sasha Fierce, he's Armando.
I mean, he could have gone further, you know.
He could have really took it there, really just been a whole different person. But yeah, he was great tonight.
Well, I think that something that we've talked about a lot is that the show kind of lacks that depth and that storyline. There's not really a storyline. And so when he mentioned that he was firing people and that they weren't doing the job very well and he wanted to go undercover, I kind of thought that would have been a perfect opportunity for them to give us a little more insight. You know, maybe focus for 5 minutes extra on the fact that they hired that staff and what happened and what exactly it was that they did wrong. Because considering that we only see the current staff partying and fooling around, I can't imagine what this hired staff would have done that was so bad that they just get fired.
Right.
Because you don't really see the real staff do anything other than drink and party. And I mean, we saw one guy on the clock in his underwear in the pool drinking out of a tube. So,
Right.
I mean,
David,
you know,
the pool boy.
yeah.
this whole show is like a disaster waiting to happen, and we are waiting for that
the
disaster to happen.
Or do you guys agree with me when I said that there's so many moments in the show that could actually go left, and left meaning right, that they could really expand on and
like,
say, okay.
Like Nathan being Armando.
Right.
Exactly.
And I would love for one of them to have like a serious emotional breakdown to where it just, you know, it's like, oh my God, they're human, or someone cries, or just some show of emotion that isn't, oh, I'm a douchebag, or, oh, you know.
I mean, they fill the show with a lot of fillers that aren't necessary, like Morgan talking about her tits, her manager's tits, and it's like, oh, come on, we could have skipped that part.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the whole first
so
date
awkward.
with the other two.
Yeah. And
it's very surface. Like, we're just cruising on the surface,
that's
and
too
we're
deep.
waiting for the...
I don't have any attachments to any of these characters yet, and I want to be attached.
Right. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm hoping, you know. But yeah, it's like everything else.
You know, I really, it's like we're so used to reality TV, like I said, being intense, and we like the character you love to hate, like on the Hills, Heidi or K-Cab. And so we want that because that's what we've been conditioned to have in life. And now, like, this show should be called The Filler, CW, because it's all it is just filler after filler after filler. Even they had a shot where the camera guy fell down. And they were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, that was
what was that?
Weird.
Who does that?
We were talking about last week about reality shows, and what we like about reality shows is that they're doing things that we are like, "Oh my God, I wish we can do that." I think when I watch the Catalina, I'm like, I've done cooler things than that.
Yeah, like my life
Driving
is way
to
cooler
work.
than anybody on that show.
And I wish that some of it, you know, I just wish they would give us a little something to look forward to.
Yes.
Some of the things that they say, like we discussed while we were watching, seems so staged. Like the girls go on the beach and they're like, we're so lucky we live here.
Right.
It's so beautiful. Or when, you know, David and Kris did an interview together and he's like, David sucks at this bet. And he's like, I'm sitting right here. It's like, okay, guys, are you reading cue cards or what is going on?
No, the worst, okay, there's many bad moments of tonight, but the worst was the maid, how she was asked questions. Okay, apparently she didn't speak English
Project
well,
Armando,
so
Yeah.
she retorted in Spanish, but she was asked the questions in English, like, hey, how are you doing today? Blah, blah, blah. Normally, if you ask someone who's not very fluent in English a question, they respond in...
They need a translator.
Right, you need a translator. She was on it. I'm like, really? What agency did they hire you from in Miami? Because this is clearly staged.
Which I also thought was very, stereotypical.
Yeah.
You know, like she was like, see? And I was like, come on, you
This show
guys.
is-
I mean, she's, you know, she probably knows more than that.
So anyway, just wanted to remind all of you shopaholics, that if you do decide to shop on Amazon, you should go to AFTERBUZZTV.com and go to Amazon through our little link. And I actually, before doing this, didn't realize how often I actually use Amazon because I don't know if you guys I'm obsessed with like Groupon and like Living Social and all that stuff. And Amazon actually has a coupon.
They do. I use it too.
So I always go to my Amazon coupons through AFTERBUZZ now.
Nice.
So I actually really use it like every day, and it really helps us out. And so we would just love a little bit of love.
And you know, Father's Day is coming up, so definitely a great time to go to Amazon and get some gifts.
Yeah.
For sure. So what other exciting tidbits happened in this week's episode of The Catalina?
Well, let's talk a little bit about Kris with a K and Nancy
tragedy.
and their little fling. I'm still kind of confused. I mean, sometimes she hates him, sometimes she loves him.
In the beginning, it was like she was telling him what was up. She was on her game. She's like, get away from me. It's not going to be like that. But then they're making out and going on a date.
The consistency of the emotion.
Yeah.
It's just like, commit.
I get it on her end. In the beginning of the episode, Kris mentioned that when they first dated, that they never went on dates. And when I first moved to LA, I dated this douchebag guy that never wanted to take me on a date. I dated him for like at least 3 or 4 months, and we never went out to dinner or anything. It was always
Did you
just
guys
like,
just chill at the house?
yeah, it was always like, you want to come over? And we would have like wine or something, and that was it. So, I mean, stupid me. I was young and dumb, whatever.
I've been there.
But yeah, I mean, last week I didn't care for Nancy too much, but after Kris said that, it made me kind of feel for her a little bit because I could see why she'd be fed up after that, you know, after not being treated right. And
yeah, I mean, but when I see her going through it, I'm thinking, how old is she?
yeah,
because it doesn't even feel like she's 20.
I think that about all of
She's
them.
probably like 23.
I think she's like 21, right?
Yeah, very young, and he's
young.
probably like 27. But what I don't like about their whole chemistry is the consistency of the emotion that the show is showing us. Like, you don't know if they're on or if they're off, and then when they're together, like the date, it was so nice and it was so warm, and Kris looked great. She looked stunning.
Yeah, she
and
did.
they were connecting, and you thought for a minute there some actual realness on the show.
Were you rooting for them?
I was rooting for them.
Okay.
I believe in love. I was rooting for them, and then
I was
he
just
looked
rooting
great.
for a storyline.
I know.
Yeah.
Me too.
And we
Me
were
too.
almost
Yeah,
there.
we
It
were-
was
yeah.
coming. It was coming, and they kissed, and it was like, yes. And then the next scene, Kris is like, I'm
And then
partying.
they ran it into a brick wall with Tweedledee and Tweedledum, David and Kris.
Yeah.
Bringing the model chicks around.
Which, by the way, Nancy was like super chilled down, dressed down, and Kris was so dressed up for that date, which was kind of
her shorts were super short.
Well, yeah, but she cleaned up well,
Yeah,
she did.
No,
She looked
she
good.
did.
She probably didn't know what to expect because yet again, Kris is disappointed in her. She was like, "Look, I just got to have my flip flops on in case I got to bounce real quick. I'm not trying."
Yeah.
She was probably scared. She wanted to give him too much.
Well, that's what
show
she
the
said.
effort.
She said that she thought he would be dressed down.
I think like ultimately, like any woman, she wants the guy to chase, you
Right.
know. And so she was like, "I'm not ready to get back with you," but deep down, it was like, "Fight for me, mother."
Right.
Well, she went in for that kiss at the end. She was just like, okay.
Yeah.
It was like,
Okay.
so if it was slow mo, she would have lips on his nose, cheeks,
I had to
everything.
cut away. It was like going too fast. But I mean, the thing I don't understand about her is, she plays this whole role of man hater Kris, and he's a douche and whatever. And then, we obviously see the jealousy side of her. But at, the dinner, she was so chummy. Like everything he said, she was just like all smiles, like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, if you know how he is, you totally know him like a book. Why are you still falling for
She
this?
secretly
guilty of
wants
that.
him to be Prince Charming.
Yeah,
as we all do with that
exes,
type
that
of
type of
man.
person.
We've
Of course.
all had the man that we wanted to change.
Where you're like, you're so you know this person's so bad for you, but there's something you're just like, oh, I just want you.
So into it.
Yeah, because you've invested so much.
Yeah, it's like
in that chemistry.
Oh my God, you're so bad, but behind closed doors, you're great.
Right.
It's worse.
Not even that. You
worse
just
kind of
want him to
chemistry.
be great.
And then you're
you want him to be a
disappointed
good
over
person.
and over again.
Yeah.
Over and over. Because you want to believe the best
they're
in
good,
somebody.
yeah.
You do.
And that just goes to show how good of a person you are. But anyways, moving on. But yeah, Nancy and Kris, mess.
Are you guys rooting for them?
I
Like,
am. I want. I'm
think
rooting.
they're good for
I
each
think
other?
Nancy can do better.
I
I
do
feel like
too.
Kris
I agree.
is just the typical guy right now, not into having a relationship or a girlfriend, but she can do better. I think.
I mean, even on a physical level, Kris is
Yeah, Nancy's
most,
cute.
a
Nancy's
5.
a super cute girl.
On a scale
Yeah.
of 1 to 10, he's a
On a
5.
scale
Okay,
of
I was
1 to
like,
10.
And,
yeah, I
and
agree.
that's only because of his body, right?
And his body. That's
His
right.
body's not even that amazing.
Exactly.
Oh, my bad. Yes, he's definitely a 5. He is a 5. But Nancy, beauty queen.
Yeah, I
beauty
think she's got a banging body too.
She
I don't know
cleaned
if
up
you've
very
seen
well.
it, but
They're all pretty on the Catalina.
Which
Yeah.
leads me
The
to
men,
why the guests. It's so wrong how everyone that works this hotel is flawless and stunning, but the guests are a mess.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And do they have a sign
So
at
funny.
the front desk that says "Act like idiots" when you get here?
Totally.
I know.
oh my god,
I don't get it.
They had the stereotypical like, "Hey girl, where here from? You know, girl, yeah." And then they had the
Guy's
skater
pulling out his chain.
like like tattoo on his neck
guitarist.
at the Catalina. And then they had like last week they had the Alabama, the country folks that
Yeah.
were, the mohawk and missing teeth. I think that's. I mean, of course, it's a reality show, so they're purposely hiring people to do this because I don't think that many unattractive people would
Right?
keep walking into, and especially in South Beach.
Yeah,
You
you'd
don't have
expect.
that many people that want to be bothered.
Right.
Yeah, I expected everybody to be beautiful because you're in Miami.
And the day rate they're paying you to be an extra on a reality show is like $50. It's no kind of money. So I'm thinking it's so bizarre to me.
it is bizarre.
Well, how sad is it that those two guys, those two surfer guys with like the guy with the long
Right.
hair that
The
played the
harmonica
guitar,
player.
Oh, okay.
they got more airtime than Dee Dee did today.
Let's
let's
discuss
talk about
Dee Dee
Dee
real
Dee.
Did.
quick.
The
It's
voice
racial.
of reason.
Yeah,
Racial.
voice of reason.
It's not racial.
I know.
You know what it is that she is probably like you said, she's probably the voice of reason, but they don't go too beyond that voice of reason.
Yeah.
They're kind of too dull for
there's not
that,
a
you know?
story.
So she's exactly.
One thing I've learned about reality is like watching. Okay, I shouldn't bring up other reality shows, but like Love and Hip Hop. One of the girls got less airtime because her story wasn't good. The producer was like, "You didn't give us anything to work with." I feel like Dee Dee is just very even keeled,
Or maybe in the future she's going to flip out on everybody.
bomb, right? Drop the bomb.
just
She's
waiting.
like,
That'd be awesome.
8 kids, baby daddy comes back.
That would be awesome.
But she's
Totally.
fly though. That
Yeah,
hair and
she is
that
fly.
makeup is fierce.
She got that
Always
nails done,
flawless.
hair done.
But you would think because in the premiere episode, everyone said Dee Dee's the voice of reason, so it's clearly not a secret
well,
that
she
she's a
chimes
little
in
low
with like
key.
comments
Yeah.
that are
You know?
like,
Yeah.
everybody.
But her
Yeah.
screen time, if you do like a totality of her screen, it's like 2 minutes out of a 42-minute show.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like the pep talker for Nancy.
She never even
yeah.
gets her own confessional. She
No.
always has to
Oh, no.
share it with
yeah.
someone.
All I see is her teeth. It just
Yeah. Well, probably the problem with being the voice of reason is that she makes people think because she asks questions and they don't want any
Thinking?
thinking on this show.
No.
Clearly, that is not allowed. So,
Dee Dee.
poor girl.
Did we figure out where we said we saw her in something else recently?
Yeah.
Did we figure out where Dee Dee really is
Not
from?
yet.
We'll find out.
But we did discuss, what did we say? That Morgan's probably like an aspiring model.
Model.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody on this show has their hidden agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're all like models or actresses.
David, professional
or-
douchebag
Spot
flirter.
them somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
on his resume probably.
He's like, I'm a professional douchebag flirter.
Oh,
That
gosh.
guy is.
But Morgan, and have you guys noticed that Morgan, even when she tries to go up in like the tone of her voice, it's still the same monotone voice?
Dude,
It's so
no
ridiculous.
expression
no,
at all.
whatsoever. And like her eyes go like a little cross-eyed when she's really intense about something. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Where do they find her? She, by hands down, deserves an Emmy for her performance.
hang on,
on
is that
Catalina.
metaphor or whatever those are called? She goes, not the sharpest crayon. Isn't
the
it
box.
not the brightest
Not the
crayon
brightest.
and not
Yeah,
the
not the
sharpest
sharpest
tool in the
tool.
Yeah.
shed?
Right.
Did you guys catch that
I
when she
totally
said
did.
that? I was
language.
like,
Wait, Stephanie said something too that we caught, which
what did
I
she
can't
say?
even remember, but they definitely can use some.
Oh, she said like it twice when it was supposed to be the or something.
Yeah.
No, but her whole phrase was just
it was
wrong.
just off the
There's so
charts.
many wrong phrases. Or like Morgan, what I'm deciding. She said something about deciding the wrong verb to use. It was I was trying to write it down because it happened so quickly, but she was going on a rant, and then her best friend, Ayal.
Gail.
Well, we can't call that. We can't call him that because you know
Ayal.
it's Ayal.
Who
but,
also doesn't
Well,
get enough airtime.
Nathan, that's his nickname for him, right?
right?
Yeah,
Nathan's
that's what Nathan
Gail,
calls him.
but he's just so typical. Like if again. This show's so wrong on so many levels because they hired the typical gay dude. I love fashion.
You said that you made
Yeah.
a comment
I
that
want
you
more from
can't
AL.
stand him.
I cannot because not all homosexual men act that way.
Yeah.
Act
Right.
all like girl. I call them squeaky. They're not squeaky. Like I'm a
Like
guy.
girl.
Like you know. Like they don't. There is plenty of masculine, regular
for sure.
gay dudes. And this
Absolutely.
you know, and this guy is just there. He's just so like, I just love fashion, and just, you know, my hair is so gelled and my eyebrows are so fat.
Again, with him, we're cruising along the surface.
Maybe that's what they wanted.
Well, yeah,
like
another stereotypical character to add to the show.
Yeah.
It's, well, but you know, again, every reality show has
to have it.
the characters.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, real world, anything you see is going to have that, which could be sad. But anyway, I just want to throw it out there. Please give us iTunes comments, especially for our show. This is a new show.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what you guys think.
We would love that.
We would love that 5-star rating. And also just tell us what you think of the show. Tell us what you think of us covering it. If there's anything that you want to add, we'd love to hear your opinions. Comment on iTunes, on YouTube, everything. We just love to hear from you guys. And it really helps us out, especially iTunes loves to see that. So
I want to know if you guys are agreeing with our thoughts and opinions.
Exactly. We're having a little bit of a hard time figuring this all out right now, trying to break this show down, figure out what it's about, what the hell is going on.
Are there any fans of the show who like it?
Are there people that are like totally digging it? Like, even if you disagree with us, let us know. We want to know. We'd love to hear that
with
stuff.
a perspective.
Exactly, because we don't have any.
We're clueless over here.
We're deer in headlights, like question marks.
Right. So the big, I guess this is the storyline or the climax of the episode, but there's a fashion show from Betty Bangs, who we all thought was Betty Banks. I've never heard of her. But
I thought she was a XXX porn star. Betty Bangs. It sounds like
Betty Bangs, the fashion designer who has no style at all.
Her style's a little off, which I was like so confused to see,
Perplexed
because if you're a fashion designer,
you gotta be
like
cute.
that's your ammo.
Your
That's
signature.
your thing.
You're sick. You're
always
fierce.
Yeah, exactly.
She was none of the above.
FYI, guys, I Googled her and nothing but pornographic stuff came up. So I don't know where she is.
Betty Bangs, hello.
Betty Bangs. I mean,
I
was like, I'm done doing
Porn
this.
star.
Porn stars have toy lines.
Is that real life?
A bikini line.
Is that real life?
It's not her. It's just like other porn stars.
Betty Bangs is a porn star.
If that is her, why would you go on national TV being a porn name? You name Betty. Have an alias like Megan Smith or something like that's normal. Betty Bangs.
Well,
really?
She must
She's
be
asking
a
for
friend
it.
of someone because they definitely,
producer.
tried to push her up. Morgan was like, she's super famous and blah, blah, blah. And she's clearly not. When she was actually standing with Morgan and Stephanie, they were dressed more fashionably than she was.
She was like average. And her line, her bikinis, it's like Victoria's Secret. They recreate the bra every 5 minutes. New Apex Demi, the new super low. It's like, how many times... The bikinis look like something I could see on the clearance rack at Target on Sepulveda in Burbank. I was just like, okay, I mean, they're cute bikinis.
Target.
I know. I go there too.
That's what I go to.
Only the one on Sepulveda in Burbank.
I was like, the one up in West Hollywood's pretty good.
That's on La Brea. That's Starbucks inside that Target. It's
dynamite
dope.
clearance rack over there.
But seriously, like, how many? I mean, I guess being a man, I don't really care about bikinis. But how many times can you recreate the wheel? I mean, the bikini is a bikini. It's orange, but these were not exquisite. And then the models they had were average. I mean, it was just...
I just didn't understand why they had a runway when they have no space for a runway.
Right.
They had no
anything.
No crowd? Where was the audience?
It was the people, the ugly guests. That was
well,
part
I
of
feel
their
like they should have
package.
gotten like a better designer for this show.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
Try to attract viewers, right? Not Betty Bangs with no fashion. Get
they tried like Tyra
Betsy
Banks.
Johnson
No,
or something.
we'll try Betty Bangs.
And it's funny to me that, we were just saying we're the guests. Like David and Kris were off duty, and they come back for the fashion show. We're like, do you have a social life? What do you do in your spare time?
Tweedledee
for
and
the party?
Tweedledum.
Yeah.
But that leads us into the drama again with Kris with a K and Psycho Nancy.
Yes.
So,
the yacht party.
No, well, they took some girls home that night. They met up with some new girls, which those girls were very welcoming for just meeting them that night. When they're at the bar, and she's like, hi, and like jumps on him, and that was interesting to me.
I was like, that's definitely staged because they were hot girls with a mediocre five.
They were getting that $100 day rate. That's right.
No, there was a $100 day rate. So we'll give you a little more because gotta make out with this guy.
Yeah, jump on the pole.
Great craft service. They were on that one, dude. The craft service alone will get you booked.
Craft service, count me in. I'll be there.
Those graham crackers, dope.
Dope.
So David asked the question that was on everyone's mind, what about Nancy? Kris was a little harsh with it. He was like, F Nancy, Nancy who? I mean...
Maturity level
revealed
right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's young. Let's stop defending Kris. What he's doing is just not good.
I'm not defending him.
I mean, no, because I'm trying to say like,
See the best.
Kris, but no, you just don't do that. You just if you have feelings for someone, he should tell Nancy, look, Nancy, it's a wrap on you. We're not together. It's over. I want to do this.
Or like, just let her know if it's like, just
Right.
I want to hook up with you, Nancy.
Yeah. Don't spit the game and sweet talk her.
Maybe
and try to be a charmer. I hate that.
Maybe they're supposed to like have this like way of making us be so attached to them that eventually towards the end of the season, if it goes that far, we get to see them hook up.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
that's the journey.
That's the journey.
At the end of the day, I feel bad for Nancy because it makes her look stupid.
Right. Well,
yes.
She plays into it. We got to give snaps to David the pool boy for his invention, the floaty with alcohol on it.
Yes, in
that
his
was
underwear.
that was actually pretty clever. I mean, a flotation device that actually pumps out alcohol. I wouldn't have thought of that.
I might throw up.
But you know what?
I'd buy one.
Have her doing it.
When I get to work tomorrow, I'm going to read my code of conduct to see if it's appropriate for me to strip down in my underwear while I'm on the clock.
Okay, Dee Dee, voice of reason.
So let's talk a little bit more about this fashion show. So they're recruiting some of their employees. They get Vicky and Karina to model in this fashion show. First off, the girls say that they want the teeniest bathing suits that they can get. Then they go to lay out so they can get tan, but then they decide that they don't want to get tan lines. I always thought it was a pretty good alternative to just tuck your strings into the bikini.
But they're in South Beach, baby.
Hey,
gotta bear it
when
off.
in Rome,
Act like
strip it off.
Totally.
Right?
Well, when I sunbathe, I make sure. I actually thought their storyline side was cool. They were a little endearing. Because they're young, they're cute, and they don't say, believe it or not, they don't say the dumbest things of the night. Other people say the dumbest.
They don't say much.
They don't say much, but they're cute, and they're just like, they're young, and it's like their first job. And so one of them had a gnarly mole, though. It was, I was like, girl, skincare, don't
Vicky,
cover that up.
You shouldn't be putting tanning oil on. You need some sunblock.
Seriously, SPF 99.
Yeah. So these guys come over, again, the guys that got the most airtime of the night, and they're just chatting with them. These girls are laying there topless, which to each
They do
their
have
own.
banging bodies, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Props for that.
So if they look hot and they're topless chairs, then so be it. But then they're telling the guys, like, hey, eyes up here, eyes up here. It's like, you're
honey,
laying there
with your
naked.
tits out.
Right.
Like, what do you expect?
That's
Do you
so
think
dumb.
these guys came over to
Look
look
me
at
in the
your
eye
hair
when
color?
my boobs are hanging out.
They weren't Ayal who would be like, "Hey, girl," they
Yeah,
were like
exactly.
regular dudes. And okay, I'm sorry, their bodies were not that amazing.
Thank you.
They
They
were.
weren't?
I mean, they were okay.
In the fashion show, I thought they looked good.
They look
One was like stick thin.
stick thin.
That hurts.
Yeah, I like some curves. I like a one with
Okay,
curves,
touche,
and
touche.
like be about it. They were
Beefy?
like not
like
beefy at
beefy
all.
chicks?
I like oh my God. Women. I think curves are sexy. I think a full figured
No, they
woman
are.
is
They are.
hot. And those girls look just like, oh, you need some Chipotle in your life.
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
Cute. I think they're
sounds
cute.
good.
I think they're both cute girls.
I could use some Chipotle.
But they were great in the fashion show. The one from Venezuela, Karina.
She looked good on the fashion
Yeah,
show.
she was hot. She cleaned up very well.
The other one,
Yeah.
Not so much.
Vicky, doesn't it sound to you like she has kind of an accent as well?
yeah, she does.
She's from Venezuela. Or
No,
no,
that's
that's the
the
other
other
one. Sorry.
But she calls Karina Karina.
Well, they're all models.
Didn't you catch one of them saying like, "Oh, back in Venezuelan"? I was like,
That's what. Yeah.
"Oh my gosh!"
Exactly.
I was like, "You can't even say your country correct." There's something
Right.
really sketchball about that.
So the funny thing to me was during the fashion show, initially when they were approached to be in the fashion show, they said that they wanted the tiniest bikinis they can find. And then they went on the beach and they went topless in front of all of these strangers. And then when they go to the fashion show in an audience of what, like 5 people, they're like, these bikinis are so tiny. They're too small. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
Thank God I waxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
mean, attention much? That was weird to me.
Yeah. Again, it's just that's how it goes. They want attention and they get it. It's a lot. Then you get it and then you're like, oh, I don't want it.
Yeah. So, I mean, then we see them all on the yacht, and Kris brings his 3 girlfriends with him onto the yacht. Nancy is not very convincing. She says that she doesn't care. She's over it, blah, blah, blah. She totally cares.
Yeah.
A little bit of a slap in the face, though, on Chris's part.
That's all we really see.
3
I would be
girls.
embarrassed.
I mean, is this just going to keep going the whole season,
Probably is.
Just so slap him. Do
Yeah.
something.
Someone needs to-
Retaliate.
Yeah,
She
Oh,
needs to
next
like
place.
front him out.
Or they should take a break from that storyline and focus on maybe, I don't know, Stephanie and Nathan hooking up. That'd be hot.
With who?
Nathan and
Stephanie,
Stephanie.
general
Yeah, that
manager,
would
and the
be
manager.
hot.
That'd be kind of sexy.
I see that.
I thought they were on the sly actually, because you know when they do their interviews together and just the way they interact with each other, they seem very like they would be too chummy for a woman of that stature. You know, she's kind of like a MILF, and she's older, and then he's young. You would,
and apparently she's great boobs.
Even Morgan and Nathan would be kind of cool. I don't know.
She's not.
I want to see Morgan with someone.
That would be like some bondage S&M kind of like.
Oh, totally.
Oh my
see,
gosh.
that's
Like
entertaining.
total dominatrix.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Nil to Zamunda.
So the rest of the episode isn't really worth mentioning, but something that's really cool is, Corey, you are really into video games, right?
Right.
That is super cool, and I think that you and all of our audience who love video games should go on Gamefly.com. It's like the Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 options. You can get games for any system, whether it's Xbox, Wii, PlayStation, Nintendo, old school, legit.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Game Boy, whatever it is.
Game Boy Color.
And the cool thing is that if you go to gamefly.com/AfterBuzzTV, you get a 15-day free trial. So, I mean, you don't even have to pay anything. It's totally free. And you get 2 weeks out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, how
Go
can
check
you go
it out.
wrong?
Dude, you don't have to ever leave your couch, Kaori.
I mean, we made it even easier. Basically,
Yeah.
all you have to do is go to AfterBuzzTV.com, and there's a banner right there. Click on
Seriously.
that, and you're
And
done.
play some video games.
Pot of coffee and some video
Get
games.
a maid, cooking queen.
Pot of coffee
Post up on the couch.
and Gamefly.
And Call of Duty. Done.
Right. I mean, the E3 Expo is out right now, so look it up, check out the games that are coming out, and then get on Gamefly.
Get on, yeah, for sure. /AfterBuzzTV.
Yeah.
All right, well, we actually have some news and gossip today, but let's cut to a commercial and we'll get to it.
Hey guys, so what do you get when 3 real single ladies are super fans of VH1 single ladies? Well, you get the after show on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Lauren Turner. I'm Spicy Mighty, bringing that fire. And I'm Fallon Mercedes. And we're single ladies, so make sure you watch us on AfterBuzz TV. We're all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies.
Hey guys, this is the AfterBuzz TV crew for The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Woo! Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 8 p.m. to see
Adrienne Barrow,
Deanna Vaughn,
Susan Hahn,
Giselle Ugardi. Buzz you later!
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about? AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, guys, so it's no secret that the whole point of this reality show is to promote the hotel and get bigger business, but Nathan, who we all know and love so well, also happens to be the executive producer of the show, and he isn't shy to admit it. According to the Miami Herald, he says, quote, "Listen, I'm trying to sell hotel rooms." Apparently, he got the idea from Jersey Shore, when the crew stayed at the Metropole Hotel, and after that, sales spiked. The Catalina, along with the Metropole, is a South Beach group hotel with rooms starting at $174 a night. Interesting because they claim that their rooms are usually fully booked, but today we saw that Kris with a K was able to get a free room. And
anytime.
If they didn't have a problem with their hotel getting booked, then why would they need a reality show? But my question is, would watching this show make you want to visit the Catalina?
Maybe if I was going to Miami, I would potentially stay there, which is the whole idea of the show,
I mean,
right?
Maybe people stay there, but clearly they don't party there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I
See the
mean,
ranger over here.
Sorry, guys.
I feel like watching this show kind of would make me not
Not
want
want
to stay
to.
there.
Yes.
Especially after seeing like the rooms afterwards. And I mean, those people in the hallways that always, you know, you see
Like there's
them
a clown
falling over
or- yeah.
and stuff. Like, are they going to tape me if I stay there? Or are
Careless
those
bartenders
fake?
who drink. And,
Do people really party that hard? I've never been one to party,
Yes,
so I've
they
never.
definitely do.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harder sometimes.
Honey.
I mean, even if you're not a partier, you think Miami, you think Cancun, you think all those kind of beautiful beaches, you want to not be yourself.
Right,
See,
right.
I don't think they're even partying that hard.
No.
Me either. I
No.
mean, and they're building it up so much. Like the pool party, we barely saw anyone there. The fashion show we were talking about.
All the fly people.
I would expect people to be like wasted,
Yeah.
like woo, like
Yeah,
whistling,
like
hollering.
spring break
Yeah.
style.
Or if it's that posh of a hotel, you would see Ferraris parked in front. You
Yeah.
would see Bentleys. Like you see at the W here in LA, all kinds of just high class people, beautiful people. Again, if the CW should take a cue from other reality shows, you do not have a show that's based around beautiful people and not have the people staying at the hotel match the people that are working there. Right. Especially if you're saying, come to Catalina, South Beach, which has a reputation for having the most notoriously beautiful people in the world. Right? You know, it's just like, what? And if you're just having these regulars to make the cast look great, that's not working either.
Yeah,
it's not. It's just like the whole package is not. It's poorly.
It's just not there.
Yeah, assembled. It's not very good.
Something like, I mean, let's be real. Something as simple as a pool party, like here in Hollywood, the W, the Standard, anything, Renaissance. Their pool parties are so legit. Like they could pack those pools any given day. Yeah. Now that it's summer, especially even Vegas, Rehab, Bear, anything. So watching this show, it's just definitely not like, as someone who's been to those kind of pool parties, it's just not up to that par.
I love you, Jessica. She's like the authority. You are the authority on pool parties.
I get like text messages for pool, like as of Memorial Day weekend, like every weekend I get random promoter people that are like, pool party,
definitely.
You know? So it's like you expect.
I mean, sorry, excuse me, but
no, it's okay.
What were you saying? Like, where's the music?
Yeah, there's no kind of heightened sense of emotion at all. When you watch reality TV shows or any kind of drama, when you want to create drama, you have the dramatic music.
Yeah.
You know, there is nothing. If they had a great soundtrack, I don't care if they were playing like The Fray or something that was just current.
It's not in Nathan's budget though.
Oh.
I mean, they should have like
he could beatbox, you know.
Instead of having an unknown designer Betty Bangs, at least have an unknown DJ and spin at a party.
Right, or something to tie, just to make it cool. Just so it's just poorly produced and poorly. I mean, and I know we shouldn't bag on it, but
it could get better.
Yeah, it could definitely. Well, if it lasts longer.
Well, here's the thing: Nathan's the EP, and clearly he's not coherent most of the time. So maybe they need someone that's not going to be partying all the time with the show.
Right. And in the defense of the castle, we also have to remember that everything happens in editing. It's what the stories are created by an editor, and the show gets edited once, then a second time, then a final time before it's actually shown on TV. So there could have been a lot of cool stuff that went on if this was a real reality show that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
But because it's a CW and because of the demo that they and it's on regular network television, because a lot of reality shows are on cable.
Yeah.
So they have to really make it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
totally.
makes sense.
You know what I mean? So that's why this is so like dumbed down. I shouldn't say like. I'm sorry. Never gonna say like again. That's why this show is so surface.
Subdued.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now that I think of it too, I feel like the CW has younger viewers than other networks as well. Because I mean, a lot of the teeny bopper girls, high school tweens, whatever. So that's also something to keep in mind, I guess.
But.
Question.
Yes.
Didn't in last week's episode, when they were giving the preview for this week, what was that whole situation with like the ghosts or whatever? Do you guys remember that?
I think that was a big medley.
For the whole season.
That was just like a medley of this season on the Catalina. It wasn't next week on the Catalina.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've talked a lot about the future of this show, the Catalina. Is it going to tank? Is it going to soar? Will it be here for a few more weeks? Is it 1 week? Is it, is summer the time for people to just tolerate this kind of stuff? Like, what is going to happen with this show? And will we be here 3 weeks from now? So I found some of the ratings from last week's premiere. On Tuesday, the 29th, they had a 0.3 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic with 0.94 million total viewers. The season average was 0.30 in the demo with 0.94 million. So basically, it was an unimpressive launch for the new reality series, but pretty much on par with what the network's been getting so far with like some of their other new shows like the LA Complex that we spoke of. And then last night, they played a repeat of last week's episode, like an encore, trying to get more viewers in. And it pulled in only 442,000 viewers with a 0.1 rating with adults 18 to 49. So, I don't know. I mean, like this says, it's on par with LA Complex, and you guys said that LA Complex got renewed for a second season. So I don't know what they're basing.
But LA Complex has substance right now. And right now the Catalina really doesn't.
Right.
But technically, from these numbers, I mean, their numbers are actually a little higher than LA Complex.
That's crazy.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
I'm interested to see how long this show will go on for.
There's not a lot of shows nowadays can really break out and have that kind of like Grey's Anatomy to 9.9 million viewers a week, you know, or that kind of drama. So especially in the summer, people aren't really watching as much television. You think they would be, but they're not.
True.
And also, I feel that This show might stay on the air because that's just the way the universe works. The shows you love and adore get scrapped, and the shows that you're just like, what? Like the LA Complex, really? A second season? But they canceled Ringer, a show that was great. They canceled Ringer.
Wow.
So you never know, and it just goes to show what money. It's all about money.
Yeah, and you know what kind of spikes me as interesting is when you think of summer, like I'm a huge TV dork, and all of my diehard like can't miss it shows are over right now.
Right.
But I mean, I'm still home at night for the most part, Monday night, Tuesday night, you know, getting ready for bed, and I want to watch something on TV. So if I'm flipping channels and I see a bunch of people partying or whatever, that's probably going to catch my eye as opposed to, you know, some drama show that I might not have any idea what's going on.
So Catalina should be partying.
So, yeah,
they need to step up their party game.
But I'm saying like this, I could see how this could appeal to someone who's just kind of looking for background TV or something like that while they're just kind of, I don't know, sitting around.
Totally.
So maybe that's what the draw is to some people.
A lot of reality shows now are franchised, like Real Housewives, Kardashians. You know, they're successful and it's a franchise. People have gone into it, so that's why a lot of those shows are still on the air. But my predictions for the Catalina is that honestly,
not predictions yet. Predictions now.
Oh, so sorry. My bad.
You're AfterBuzz TV.
I love the music. So sorry, guys.
There you go.
My prediction for Catalina, and as much as I love and adore you guys are all amazing. I feel like another 2-4 episodes.
That makes me sad.
I feel like they'll finish out the season.
2-4 episodes.
But they probably don't have that many episodes ordered in the first place.
And they can, yeah. Probably 8 tops.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, the characters aren't even especially likable.
Right.
You know, they're normal people.
Let's put our faith in Nathan in the production and say that the show is that right now it's on the upswing.
I do somewhat enjoy Nathan whenever he's on the screen, though. Like I said in the beginning.
Except for his staring problem, it's kind of weird to me.
He's probably just hammered.
He's always staring at the camera.
Next week is the gay pride wedding with gays, so that might be interesting.
And then the manager makes out with
the manager has a secret lover
with a client. Yeah. So I mean, there's some really juicy potential there.
Yeah.
Let's just hope the CW and whoever's filming the show doesn't screw it up.
Well, you know what's interesting too is that no one's really talking about it. So even today when I was looking up news and gossip, usually after a reality show, like the next day you can go on and find a ton of stuff about every character, secrets or skeletons coming out. And today, like a week later after the premiere, I was struggling. I only had 2 news and gossip stories. Usually I have like 4 or 5. So I was struggling to find stuff. We still can't even figure out what Dee Dee does.
Or who she is.
Who she is, you know? So that's the thing that they need. Like they need to get people talking. And I mean, obviously that's what we're doing. We're buzzing about it and we're trying to get other people to buzz about it, but they need a little more help.
You know what I hate about shows is that the promos are they're so well masterfully put together, like the Catalina, Miami. You know, there was no kind of the way they made it seem. They made the show seem like it was going to be rich kids partying, and there was going to be some kind of drama, some kind of like amazingness. But
we'll find out next week.
Time will tell.
Next week.
All right, join us next week. Tweet us again. Hit us up on iTunes, YouTube. Let us know your thoughts. Hopefully next week we can get some callers to tell us their opinions. Find me on Twitter at I am Jessica King. And you? You can find me on Twitter at JJCForever.
And tweet me at Carmela Mondello.
And tweet me at Kaori, Kaorious.
And for the rest of the week, we'll just be tweeting each other until our viewers start tweeting us. So, help us out. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.